India's past is a vast tapestry, woven with dynasties, faiths, and innovations. Between 6 AD and 500 AD, India witnessed the fall and rise of great empires, the spread of Buddhism and Hinduism across Asia, flourishing trade, and a golden age of art and science. Join us on this journey through a forgotten yet glorious chapter of ancient India. In 6 AD, the Indian subcontinent was divided into many kingdoms. The mighty Mauryan Empire had fallen centuries earlier, and new powers were emerging. The Satavahanas in the Deccan, the Kushans in the north, and coastal kingdoms thriving on maritime trade. The Satavahanas ruled large parts of central and southern India, from around 1st century BCE to 3rd century CE. They supported trade, art, and Buddhism. The famous Amaravati Stupa, Nasik, and Karla Caves stand as testimony to their patronage. Meanwhile, the Western Kshatrapas controlled parts of Gujarat and Western India. Both dynasties issued beautiful coins, encouraging trade with Rome and Southeast Asia. In the north, the Kushan dynasty rose to power around the 1st to 3rd centuries CE, founded by nomadic tribes from Central Asia. Under Emperor Kanishka, the empire stretched from Afghanistan to central India. The Kushans played a vital role in spreading Buddhism beyond India. The Gandhara school of art, blending Greek and Indian styles, flourished. The Silk Road trade boomed, connecting India to China and Rome. Around the 4th century CE, the Gupta Empire emerged in northern India, ushering in what historians call India's Golden Age. Chandragupta founded the dynasty, but it was Samudragupta and Chandragupta II, Vikramaditya, who expanded and consolidated power. The Guptas brought political unity, prosperity, and cultural brilliance. Art and architecture thrived. The magnificent Ajanta caves were painted with exquisite murals. Scholars like Kalidasa wrote plays and poetry still admired today. The ancient Indians built monumental temples and viharas. The Ajanta caves feature stories from Buddha's life, painted with vibrant natural pigments. Gupta sculptors mastered the art of casting and stone carving, giving us serene Buddha statues and Hindu deities. In science, India's scholars compiled medical texts, calculated eclipses, and built astronomical observatories. Trade routes linked India to China, Persia, Rome, and Southeast Asia. Ports like Arikamedu bustled with merchants from afar. Indian textiles, spices, gems, and ivory were highly prized. In villages and cities, artisans crafted pottery, jewelry, and sculptures. Society was complex, with guilds, scholars, monks, and traders shaping daily life. By 500 AD, India stood at the crossroads of ancient and medieval times. The ideas, art, and science of this period traveled across Asia, influencing cultures far beyond. Today, the ruins, scriptures, and sculptures remind us of a time when India was a center of learning, spirituality, and global trade. The story of ancient India, from 6 AD to 500 AD, is not just about kings and wars, but about people, ideas, and creativity that continue to inspire the world. Between 500 AD and 1000 AD, India entered an era of transition, creativity, and power. After the Gupta Empire declined, new dynasties rose. Magnificent temples were carved from rock, and art, literature, and trade flourished. This is the story of an age often overshadowed, yet deeply influential, the age of temples and dynasties. By the early 6th century, the mighty Gupta Empire had fragmented. North India saw smaller kingdoms emerge, like the later Guptas, Maukari, and Harsha's short-lived Vardhana Empire. This political mosaic made way for regional cultures and new centers of power. From the 6th to 10th centuries, India was shaped by powerful regional dynasties, the Pallavas and Cholas in the south, the Chalukyas and Rashtrakutas in the Deccan, the Palas in Bengal, and the Pratiharas in the north. These kingdoms often clashed, but they also built magnificent temples, supported trade, and developed unique cultural identities. The Pallavas of Kanchipuram, 6th to 9th century, created some of India's earliest stone temples. At Mahabalipuram, sculptors carved entire temples and chariots from granite, telling stories of gods and heroes. Their capital, Kanchipuram, became a hub of learning and Sanskrit scholarship. In the 8th to 10th centuries, the Rashtrakutas rose to power in the Deccan. Under King Krishna I, they commissioned the monumental Kailasa temple at Ellora, carved from a single rock, an engineering marvel. The Rashtrakutas controlled trade routes and were patrons of art and Jainism. By the late 9th century, the Cholas began to rise. Under Rajaraja Chola III and Rajendra Chola Shramanl, they built a maritime empire stretching to Sri Lanka, the Maldives, and Southeast Asia. The Brihadeshwara temple in Tanjavur, completed in the 11th century, symbolizes Chola power and devotion. From 500 to 1000 AD, India became a land of stone temples and sacred art. Across the subcontinent, rulers expressed faith and power by commissioning grand temples. Temple architecture evolved, from rock-cut caves to freestanding towers, shikaras, and elaborate halls, mandapas. Carvings depicted gods, daily life, and cosmic dance, blending devotion and art. Despite royal rivalries, most Indians lived in villages, farming rice, wheat, and milk. Cities thrived as craft centers, producing textiles, metalwork, and cotton. Guilds organized artisans and trade. India traded with Southeast Asia, China, and the Arab world, exporting spices, ivory, and gems. This era saw classical Sanskrit flourish alongside regional languages, Tamil, Kannada, Telugu, and Bengali. In the south, Tamil poets wrote devotional hymns, creating the bhakti movement that made faith deeply personal. Kalhana chronicled history in Kashmir, while epics and Puranas inspired generations. Art, dance, and music filled temples and courts, celebrating life and the divine. By 1000 AD, India had laid the foundations of classical art, literature, and faith that still shape its identity today. Stone temples, bronzes, and ancient scripts whisper stories of kings, monks, and artists. Though often divided by war, the Indian subcontinent remained united by creativity, devotion, and an enduring quest for beauty. This is the legacy of India's age of temples and dynasties,